Okay, so today's video is going to be very different to what I would usually do. If you watched my Göbekli Tepe video the other day, then you might remember that I mentioned asking AI a bunch of questions about advanced technology and precision engineering to see what it would say. Now, the answers that we got were just mind-blowing. And one thing I will say is, I don't think this is evidence. I think this is exciting and I think it's entertaining. I got the idea and the prompt from Jay Anderson, so huge shout out to him, and his link will be in the description below, so please go check him out. One thing I will say about AI is that if you want a specific, precise answer, you need to put in as much detail as physically possible. I've done it before where I've asked a very similar question and it's given me quite a generic answer. But that being said, what I will do now is I'll read you the initial prompt that I put in and then we extend it off from there. Your task is to locate all prehistoric sites worldwide that exhibit precision engineering, precision geophysical and celestial alignments, and utilize primary materials with naturally high quartz concentrations in partnership with natural acoustic amplification materials. Taking all of this information into account, your next task will be to formulate as many scientific applications that could technically be feasible through these sites given their location, alignments, structural geometry, and material composition. Regardless of status quo assumptions on prehistoric capabilities, simply follow the evidence to arrive at conclusions relating to technological or scientific avenues that appear represented in prehistoric structures worldwide. Now, I know initially that might be a lot to take in, but the answers that it gave, it genuinely blew my mind. So let's dive in. Below is a detailed examination of prehistoric sites worldwide that exhibit precision engineering, geophysical and celestial alignments and utilize materials with high quartz concentrations, alongside natural acoustic amplification properties. Following this, I will propose scientifically feasible applications based on these characteristics, focusing on the evidence presented by the site's locations, alignments, structural geometry, and material composition. Now here's where it gets juicy. As stated, what we're going to be looking at is the precision engineering, geophysical and celestial alignments, high quartz materials, and acoustic amplification. Number 1. Stonehenge. Composed of massive sarsen stones up to 50 tons, and smaller blue stones transported over long distances and precisely erected in a circular arrangement with lintels fitted using mortise and tenon joints. Aligned with the Solstice Hillstone marks the midsummer sunrise, and the avenue aligns with the midwinter sunset. Recent studies suggest potential additional lunar and stellar alignments. And then we move on to the high quartz material. The blue stones, made up of dolerite, rhyolite, and volcanic tuff, contain quartz. Though not as dominant as in other sites, sarsen stones are primary siliceous sandstone, or rich in silica. The arrangement of the stones creates an acoustic interference pattern, amplifying sound within the circle while dampening external noise, as demonstrated by modern acoustic studies. And then we have the Great Pyramid of Giza. Constructed with over 2 million limestone and granite blocks, cut and fitted with sub-millimeter precision. The pyramid's base is leveled to within 2 centimeters across 13 acres. The pyramid is aligned with the cardinal directions, with an error of less than 0.05 degrees. The shafts from the King's and Queen's chambers point to specific stars. The southeast corners align with the ancient temple of Heliopolis. The outer casing, now mostly removed, was Tura limestone with minor quartz content. But the inner granite, for example, the King's chamber, is rich in quartz, comprising of up to 50 to 60% of its composition. The King's chamber exhibits resonant frequencies around 110 to 120 Hz, due to its granite construction and precise dimensions, amplifying low frequency sounds. And then we move on to what is arguably my favourite site on the planet, Göbekli Tepe. The T-shaped limestone pillars, weighing up to 20 tons, arranged in circles, carved with intricate reliefs and fitted into bedrock sockets with laser-like precision. The pillars may align with Sirius or other celestial events, though this is debated. The site's orientations suggest intentional placement relative to the landscape, and if any of you follow Bright Insight over on Instagram or Twitter, you would have seen that there was a recent paper that was released suggesting that Göbekli Tepe could be the oldest calendar, so who knows. The limestone contains trace quartz, but the site's bedrock and surrounding geology include quartz-bearing formations. The enclosures are said to amplify sound, with pillars potentially acting as resonators, though this is less studied than at Stonehenge or Giza. Now we're going to move on to Newgrange, which is a site that I am definitely going to be visiting this year. This site is a passage tomb with a corbelled roof, constructed from large stones fitted without mortar, but has been stable for over 5,000 years. The entrance aligns with the winter solstice sunrise, illuminating the inner chamber through a precisely engineered roof box. This site features white quartz stones, with a quartz content of up to 90%, sourced from various different locations. This reflects light into the chamber. The chamber's dome shape and quartz lining creates a resonant acoustic environment, amplifying chants or low-frequency sounds. Finally, we're going to take a look at Shoutout Canyon. This site features great houses, like Pueblo Bonito, with multi-story masonry walls with precise alignments and interlocking stonework. These buildings align with solstices, equinoxes, and lunar standstills. The Sundagger site marks solar events with light patterns on petroglyphs. The sandstone used in construction is quartz rich, of up to 80 to 90% silica, sourced locally. The kivas, or circular chambers, exhibit resonance, with quartz sandstone enhancing sound reflection. Now, I don't know about you, but reading all of that has literally blown my mind. But it gets better. I thought, following that, why not take it a little bit further? So, I asked, following the same prompt, ignoring the mainstream narrative, could we suggest that the people who built the structures listed above had an extremely advanced understanding of geometry, cosmology, and astronomy? Here's what it had to say. Ignoring mainstream narratives, the builders of these sites likely possessed an extremely advanced understanding of geometry, cosmology, and astronomy. They engineered structures with mathematical precision. They aligned them to track celestial phenomena over vast timescales and selected materials that enhance their functionality. Feats that imply theoretical knowledge, observational rigor, and possibly lost technologies. This perspective doesn't require speculation about extraterrestrials or mysticism. It simply follows the evidence to suggest a prehistoric intellectual sophistication that rivals or exceeds later civilizations expressed through stone and sky. Now, like I said at the beginning, this is not me putting forward anything as evidence. This is simply me having some fun and just asking random questions and getting some juicy answers. Guys, do me a favor, if you did like that video, like the video, subscribe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.